Welcome to part 2B of the micronutrient series. In this video, we will look into how vitamins are determined. A reminder of what a definition of vitamin is that it is an organic compound necessary for normal physiological function that cannot be synthesized in adequate amounts and must therefore be obtained from the diet. So what determines a vitamin's necessity? We'll need to look into the history of vitamins to find out. In ancient Egypt, the Egyptians knew that feeding liver to a person may help with night blindness, an illness known now to be caused by a vitamin A deficiency. During the Renaissance, vitamin deficiency was common among ship crews during their shipping when they have no access to fruits and vegetables for prolonged periods. In 1747, it was discovered that citrus fruits help prevent scurvy, a deadly disease in which collagen is not properly formed, causing poor wound healing, bleeding of gums, severe pain, and death. In 1881, Russian medical doctor Nikolai Lunin studied the effects of scurvy at the University of Tartu. He fed mice an artificial mixture of all the separate constituents of milk known at the time, namely the proteins, fats, carbohydrates, and salt. The mice that received only the individual constituents died, while the mice fed by milk itself developed normally. He made a conclusion that a natural food such as milk must therefore contain, besides these known principal ingredients, small quantities of unknown substances essential to life. So on the beriberi experiment, thiamine deficiency has been described for thousands of years in Asia and became more common in the late 1800s with the increased processing of rice. In 1884, Takaki Kanehiro, a British-trained medical doctor of the Imperial Japanese Navy, observed that beriberi was endemic among low-ranking crew who often ate nothing but rice, but not among officers who consumed the Western-style diet. With the support of Japanese Navy, he experimented using crews of two battleships. One crew was fed only white rice, while the other was fed a diet of meat, fish, barley, rice, and beans. The group that ate only white rice documented 161 crew members with beriberi and 25 deaths, while the other group, who ate a variety of food, only had 14 cases of beriberi and no death. So throughout the early 1900s, vitamins continued to be discovered. So you have the list on here taken from Wikipedia. It has all the vitamins known today, the fatty vitamins A, D, E, K, and the water solubles, which are all the B's and C. So a common interesting question that some of us have at one point of our lives is, why are the alphabets of the vitamins skipped? So the reason that the set of vitamins skip directly from E to K is that the vitamins corresponding to letters F to J were either reclassified over time, such as vitamin F, which covers essential fatty acids, and the reason they were reclassified is that they are needed in large quantities, and that does not fit within the definition of a vitamin, which is needed in small quantities. So I believe it is now placed under macronutrients, under lipids, and they are essential fatty acids under lipids. Some are discarded as false leads, such as vitamin P, which covers flavonoids. That includes many compounds, but they are not proven essential. Or some are renamed because of their relationship to vitamin B, which became a complex of vitamins. That's vitamin G, riboflavin, it's reclassified as vitamin B12 and not B2, sorry, and not G. Are there different forms of the same vitamin? So yes, you can look at the examples of vitamins here. So vitamin D, you have D2 and D3, with D3 being the more absorbable form. And vitamin K, there's K1, K2, and K3. So yes, they are different forms. Do the different forms matter? Sometimes, but we'll explain specific examples in future videos under the specific vitamins. Are there different salt forms of vitamins? Yes. So here is an example of vitamin C. There are different mineral forms of ascorbic acid. So the most common should be sodium ascorbate. So 1,000 milligram of sodium ascorbate would contain 111 milligram of sodium. So this is more relevant to those with high blood pressure and are opting for low sodium diets. So you should also keep the total dietary sodium intake, and that should include vitamin C if you're taking it sodium ascorbate form. So you can also have vitamin C in calcium ascorbate form. So you can get about 90 to 110 milligrams of calcium, and you need around 1,000 to 1,200 of milligram of calcium per day. So that should be included into your dietary intake lah. But since around 50% of people don't meet the calcium intake per day, calcium ascorbate could be more preferable to sodium ascorbate, especially if you have high blood pressure. There are other forms as well listed down here. This is taken from Linus Pauling Institute. You can see the pros and cons, or the calculation of content for each of the items if you want to decide on which vitamin C is more suitable for you. So a list of priorities. So the first priority should always be knowing how much you need, what's the dose you need. So secondly, is to buy from a trusted brand or vendor, and then the item should be accessible and at low cost, because you're going to be taking this daily for long term. And beware not to buy from unrecognized websites or vendors. That can be dangerous. If you get any side effects, just try a different formulation. More formulation just means more options to try if one doesn't work out. If you have allergies to specific ingredient, look at the ingredients listed on formulation before buying. And also a hint is that if you're trying supplements, don't try a few at the same time. If you try new supplements, add it on one by one to what you're already having. And also start on a lower dose. Let's say you're supposed to take 2 or 3 tablets, but you start on 1 tablet first. Then over the next few days or weeks, you slowly build it up. So this is to prevent intolerance, especially say fatty supplement like fish oil. Sometimes the body cannot keep up by producing enough bile, and you may get gastrointestinal symptoms such as feeling nausea. And especially to those group of people where nocebo works, they should definitely start small and start slow. So that's all for today's video. The next video will talk about how much is needed, and we'll see you in the next video.